Hello, good morning. We are back again on another edition of QTV this morning here on your favorite channel. Wherever you're watching this program, good morning to you and to all your loved ones. How was your weekend? My weekend was good. I was just sharing how I spent my weekend with, telling Teres how I spent my weekend. I was strolling all over Senegambia this weekend, but on something genuine. Man, what they gain a silo amut fighter day. Huh? Mr. Boyd, good morning.
Good morning.
Why are we hearing ourselves in the studios? When you talk, you hear the echo again.
There's some kind of echo.
What's going on? Yeah, so how are you,
sure
Mr.
the
Boyd?
technicians will deal with it.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah.
How was your weekend?
It was the usual stuff.
At home?
Nothing interesting happens anymore.
So, do you want to tell me you can project, like you can predict what's going to happen during the weekend? You from Friday, okay, Saturday I'll be at home, the usual thing,
It's not a matter of
nothing
prediction.
new.
It's not a matter of prediction at all. It's just having a pattern. It's just my pattern.
But doing one thing almost every time can be monotonous. It can be boring.
Well, not really. Because if you keep on, I like watching documentaries on TV or online, my online documentaries. So you're watching different documentaries all the time. You're watching documentaries every weekend, but different documentaries. So it doesn't necessarily have to be boring. So that's it. I'm an old man now. Still, I really have no appetite for anything interesting, even. I'm comfortable with my boring old, what do you call it, pattern.
But sometimes trying new things can spice it up, can make it interesting. I mean, old men also want to have some good experience sometimes. It keeps your blood running. It keeps you active and focused. Don't you think?
No, I don't think so. What keeps my blood running now is not quite the same thing as what kept it running when I was at 30. So you 30 or 40-year-olds, whatever keeps your blood running, well, enjoy. I've moved on. Something else keeps my blood running.
Okay, we will come back to that. We have Halimatu rather. Halimatu Cisse, a journalist. I mean, she would be reviewing the newspapers with us. As you know, every week and every day on this program, we do have people who review the papers with us. And today we have Halimatu Cisse. Good morning, Halimatu.
Good morning, Balde.
It's good to have you here, share this platform with you.
It's an honor to be here
and,
this morning.
I believe by the end of this segment, we will definitely interpret a lot of newspapers and we will review some of the stories. And our viewers got to learn a lot of things happening.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. So how was your weekend too? Tell me, how did you spend your weekend? What were you doing? Did you cook?
Yes, I don't cook because my kids went for weekends, so I was alone at home. It was all work, and I was busy editing videos and audios for podcasts, yes.
Okay, so
and I did some
if
laundry
they've gone for weekend, you
there.
don't cook for yourself? What do? You do fast food?
Yes, I like to cook things that would take me a few minutes, like fry an omelette and all those things, yeah.
Just drop the omelette, the
Yes.
egg. Okay, nice. All right, okay, nice. I mean, I also watch some documentaries. I mean, yesterday I spent my evening from 7 p.m. I watched the FBI files, the forensic files. They've released new episodes. Very interesting. So I keep watching those things, and it really sparked something in me. How forensic and FBI use fingerprint to identify a perpetrator, how they identify people with such evidence that are found at a crime scene. So, I mean, I tried linking that to our country. I wish, we also have all those kind of things, I mean, to be able to identify certain things. I mean, sometimes crimes are committed, and when you enter, within that crime scene, you see a lot of evidence, but because of the less technical know-how and certain things, we cannot be able to pull that evidence from that crime scene, Mr. Mboch.
Yes, that is true.
Very, very, very unfortunate.
So what do we do?
Well,
I think they've introduced a kind of forensics unit. That sort
but
of
how
thing.
equipped
But that's
are
exactly
they?
how equipped are they, and
That's
the
the thing.
personnel, you know, the expertise as well. So yeah, it's just very well. It seems so simple. Just get it and apply it. But it is just so difficult. The resources.
Normally, what they do, the U.S. I mean, most of these offenders, you know, you have their fingerprints in a system, you know, and most of these people too. Once you are born in the U.S. or you commit a crime, your fingerprint is put in the system in such a way. If at all your fingerprint, if there is a crime scene, they will compare that fingerprint to against that print in the system.
Have a bank.
And obviously it will definitely show your picture, or it will show them how many crimes you've committed and what types of crimes you committed in the past. So very easy. But I mean, let's see. Probably in 2030 we'll be there as a country. However, don't you think in 2030 a lot of things can happen?
A lot of things that can happen. We can digitalize across all sectors, including the educational sector as well. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we'll take a look at the African Code, then the newspaper review. From the newspaper review, we'll talk to Modu Musa Sisao, Public Relations Officer of the Gambia Police Force, on class over land dispute in Jabang. Wow. And of course, we'll also be talking to Ajifatu Gay, Senior Legal Officer, National Human Rights Commission, advancing the rights of PWDs in the Gambia, and implementing the Made in Gambia strategy. Swaibu Cham, you know, development consultant ITC, will also be on the program, and this is what we'll be doing today. But first, let's take a look at the African Code. And Mr. Boyd, can you take us through what it reads?
Yes, it's an interesting one. He who has no patience for smoke will have no charcoal.
He who has no patience for smoke
will have no charcoal.
Will have no charcoal.
Will have no charcoal. What do you make of this?
Well, let's start with Habi. Habi, what's your interpretation? You know.
Well, it says it's a funny proverb, so it's going to be a bit difficult for me. But it says, he who has no patience for smoke will have no charcoal. I think it is basically talking about people not rushing things. Like it talks about having patience. If you are, for example, looking for a result, you need to be patient enough to wait for that result. You don't need to rush. Maybe if you rush, you're going to make certain mistakes. Yeah.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Yes.
I think you're right there.
Yes,
with the patience, then that takes you to endurance, isn't it? Having the endurance to undergo a certain effort so that you can have certain outcomes. For me, the other related saying, no pain, no gain, kind of thing came to mind.
It's kind of similar.
that sort of thing. That's how I see this. Balde, how do you see it?
Well, that endurance, let's talk about the endurance. Let's try to break it down into multiple pieces. I mean, let's talk about the endurance. It is very difficult to be patient, you know. Even in our religion, it keeps telling you, you know, God is with those who are patient. I mean, always, even the scripture will tell you, patient. Why is patience coming all the time? Even in our society, let's narrow it down to the society. If you are into a situation, all they'll tell you, be patient.
Absolutely.
But to be patient is very difficult, Mr. Mboj.
Yes, but you have to cultivate it. When you are in a situation, what you want is a solution to get out of it. So even 1 minute can seem like 10 hours. That is the key. So people will tell you, calm down, take it easy, you know, results will come, things will sort themselves out, absolutely. But by being in a hurry, you will not necessarily change reality. You know what I mean? Because it's you are in a situation, of course you want things to happen, but things happen depending on the circumstances, you know what I mean? You are not in total control of all the factors bearing on something. So they all need to come together for you to get what you want. So it's real. Reality sort of imposes on us this sort of patience. Otherwise, we'll spoil for ourselves. It's just how the nature of things. You know what I mean? So that is why it is important, really. So it just depends, how things are.
Well,
I think
see
patience is part of our life. When you look at from being a baby to growing up, every step we take, they said patience. You have to take it easy, be patient, and then you will get there. And also looking at the things that we want in life, there are things that we apply for on many occasions, but we don't get it. But it doesn't stop us from applying again, because we are patient and we believe that with patience we can get to where we want to get to. So I think patience is a very important aspect of our life as human beings.
Let's take a look at people who are impatient. I mean, there are various examples. I mean, people who were not patient and where it led them. Okay, you want to get to Europe, for example, the US. People have been there for 10, 15 years and they've been patient. And you want to make the fast money. You are not patient. And okay, fine, you're making the money, but one day you are apprehended and sentenced to probably 25 years in prison. That's impatient. You understand? But the point I'm trying to raise here, to be very patient is something, it takes a great deal to be patient.
Yeah. Sure, it takes a great deal. Like you said, if you just arrive in Europe, for example, and then you've met people there who have been there for years, and you are like, okay, maybe you are here for years because you are a coward or you don't want to take certain risk, and then you decided to venture into things that are illegal, that means that you are very impatient. And that impatience can cost you, like you said, 25 years in prison or 30 years in prisons. And at the end of the day, you were like, if I had known, I would have been patient like them and follow the right channel to get to where I want to be.
That's it. And here now, there's a slight complication, I think. Patient about what? I think it depends on the activity.
Yeah.
It really depends on also what is it.
I know patience generally. We are trying to generalize the patience.
Absolutely.
Here it's going to fit wherever you put it.
Well, I'm not sure whether you have that, because sometimes this so-called patience can be sort of tardiness, can be procrastination. I'm supposed to do something, but I'm not doing it. So what do we really mean by patience, and about what? I think it's not as simple. It's not as simple as we think that
this
it
is.
is.
To be genuinely patient, not tardiness or procrastinating. You know, when you are procrastinating something, you've been lazy to do it. You understand? So that type of patience is a big disadvantage. I think we're not talking about that one, Mr. Moore.
That's it. So which one are we talking about?
We are talking about
precise.
Patience of getting something for your life, patience of building your life, patience of putting things at the right time, you know, at the right place. That's what we're talking about.
Okay, this is the key. Identifying when it's the right time to do something, right? How do you get that? Don't you need more than patience, as it were, to be able to identify? Here, I think we are moving on to something else. Patience merely is to wait. Now, when do you strike? I do not know. I'm not sure what gives you that, what kind of skill, what kind of quality gives you that one. When do you strike? So, you see, what started out to be sort of like a simple thing is becoming complicated. I'm not even sure whether I understand what patience means anymore.
Yes, I think different people can have a different definition when it comes to patience. Because, for example, when it comes to, in the case of a woman who has been in an abusive relationship, and you said, okay, you have to be patient. Patient might not work in that situation. Yes, because this is a woman who is going through an abusive relationship. And here you are saying, Sabri, patient. You have to be patient. Marriage is patience. And that kind of patience can kill a person because she is in an abusive relationship. So in that situation, patience cannot work.
That's really the point, depending on the situation you are in. So, you see, the problem is, we can be in the same situation, but because of different perspectives, see, this is really where the issue is. Because of different perspectives, one will come and say, oh, be patient, just give it time, it will happen. Somebody else will come and say, oh, you better jump ship. This is not going to happen. You better move on. So it's a very... It's not an easy one. You know, I thought I understood the meaning of patience, but I'm not sure I do.
We'll have to move now to the newspaper review. Let's start with the Standards newspaper. Barrow didn't violate law in removing Auditor General Mai Ahmad Fati on the front newspaper, on the front headline of the Standards newspaper. He might have his reasons of saying it, but I think the matter is currently the courts. I mean, they are looking at it. Whether he did not violate or violate, we cannot say that. But, I mean, Mai is saying this, Halimatu. What is your own point of view on this?
I think Mai is a lawyer. And since this issue started on social media, we have seen different perspectives from different legal personalities, including the Bar Association. So when it comes to this issue, I think when it comes to Mai and the Gambia Bar Association, I would side with the Gambia Bar Association. They said it is illegal, and I believe that it is illegal. When the Gambia Bar Association said it is illegal, then it is illegal. Mai is not just a legal personality. Mai is also a politician, so he can be speaking in the political perspective as well.
Well, you know, for me, when I saw this comment, I was like, okay, fine, all right, okay. I hope it's not one of the moves that politicians use, I mean, to fit in one of the puzzles in the Barrow government, because politicians can say anything. We've seen politicians that went online and insulted President Adama Barrow. We've seen politicians that said everything about Barrow's government, and now they are drumming in his government. So, might be a political statement, Mr. Wood.
Obviously. God. Now, let's look at this. On the 10th, you appoint somebody a minister. 11, the person releases a statement saying that, nope, he rejected it. But then, it seems that they were in such a hurry. They just installed somebody else. You've had this replacement without a vacancy. And in the, is it the National Audit Office Act 2015? It's not easy to remove an Auditor General. We know that. Incompetence, misconduct, and all of that. But even in incompetence, you need a tribunal to establish that, don't you? And incapacity on health reasons or any other, you need a medical board to do that. So they've got prescribed procedure there of removing this person. We haven't seen any of that. Have we seen any valid resignation? You see, had to resign from the job. No valid resignation.
Even the acceptance they are talking about, we haven't seen any written acceptance. We have nothing.
Absolutely. There's no evidence whatsoever that he ever accepted. Perhaps they're relying on, oh, that was what he said. Okay, tell us verbatim, who said what to whom? Who did
and when?
And when? The Auditor General, who did he talk to? What was said? And what was his response? Give us the exact words so that we will know. So this whole thing looks fishy. And Mai is with the president,
is a politician,
so naturally he will, you know, side with them.
Definitely. So it's important for us to wait and see the outcome of the courts.
But this is really where the issue is. Yes, we keep saying that, but in the interim, what happens? Meanwhile, they've put in place somebody else. Sooner or later, we're going to accept it as fait accompli. It's already happened. How long would the court process take? We do not know. So let us be careful here talking about, oh, let's just wait for the courts. That's possibly what some people want us to believe.
I think it is
That's
good
exactly what
that
they want us to
due
do.
process is followed all the time. To go to the courts all the time, you know, we know the judicial system, it takes long to prosecute a case or to get a decision on a situation at the courts. So I think it is important that authorities, including the government, follow due process in anything that they are doing.
Exactly. So another story, NCP leader urges supporters to rally behind Barrow. Well, that's it seems NCP. Who's NCP again?
The National Convention
Party.
You're joking. It cannot be that one. Maybe that's a new NCP.
No, I think they are the ones.
Who's running this
They're
party?
the only NCP.
Who's the party leader?
I do not know. I mean, it was founded in
NCP
1975.
Kinte. Is it Kinte?
Kinte, I have no idea.
Yeah, I've seen Kinte.
The Sheriff Diba's party. The
But
late
you see,
Sheriff Diba.
I'm not trying to. I think some of these parties, I don't even know they are existing. I mean, apart the parties that I know, it's UDP, NPAP, you know, GDC. Those are the parties. But those other parties. So, let's talk about winning the 2026 election. Can a party alone win election in the Gambia? I mean, Sobeya, APP, do they have a chance of winning the election? I've seen SRFAL these days pledging a lot of money, I mean, in dollars for youth investment in the Gambia when they win elections.
When they win election, that's the problem.
Do they stand a chance of winning?
Yes, they said that when they win elections, I think politicians, so this is from this saying that, okay, when I win election, I'm going to do so and so. When there is still chance for them to invest in the country, when there is still chance for them to invest in young people, they shouldn't wait until when they win election, because they don't know when they are going to win election.
Yes.
Like you said, we are not sure whether a single party is going to win election in this country. So we are saying that all parties can come together so that there will be someone who can win election. But if you say that, okay, I have this maybe $1 million or more, I want to invest in you, but you have to first vote me in office, that is something that I don't believe anyway.
Well, I mean, the politics is becoming more of a business thing now. I mean, okay, I have a group of 50,000 people. Maybe I should just go and rally behind UDP or NPP or go to Mama Kande or go to APRC. You know, maybe I might become an ambassador or might be sent for international appointment, or maybe I might be following Barrow in his motorcade when he's moving. Are you forecasting a coalition between UDP and other parties? Because the way they are talking, it's like they want to remove President Barrow in 2026. Well,
yes, I am forecasting a coalition, but not just for UDP, even NPP must be thinking that direction, that, okay, if we want to retain our seat, we need a coalition, we need a strong coalition. And you know, like you said, there were people who were against the Barrow government. They are now working with Barrow.
True.
So I don't think they have permanent enemies in politics. They are all friends. So when it comes to election, they are looking at their common interests. If they have a common interest with another party, they will definitely come together to make sure that they win the election, 2026 election. So I think I am forecasting a strong coalition on both sides, on the UDP and also on NPP side. They both need coalitions to win.
But there are parties that, you know, Mr. Mboj, they cannot even pull out a 25 voters. I mean, we've seen
even
past elections
voters,
that other parties even got only one vote. Can you imagine?
Can a single party win 2026? Yes, in theory. It's first past the post. That is just so easy, and it tends to favor the incumbent. That's really what it is. First past the post, no 50 plus 1, none of anything. Even if you have 10% turnout, it doesn't matter. Whoever has the most votes, you win.
Yes.
That makes it easier for that sort of thing to happen. But that tends to favor the incumbent. Now, the coalition, yes, the opposition. Of course, you cannot imagine how the opposition can go without forming some kind of coalition. At least some of them. You probably have that sort of mini coalitions. Maybe 2 or 3 parties will come here, another 2 or 3. We've got so many parties now. So you've got all of these smaller ones and individuals. But this is the key. They're not equal. So many of these parties are merely nominal. Parties in name only. They've never done anything in the National Assembly, never done anything in the wards, you know. And this is quite curious. We have so many so-called politicians. They never run for office. They are just appointed. This is what journalists call political walkers. They are not runners. They don't run for office. So they just call themselves politicians. They are not. You know, politicians really, they go and run for office. You run for office. So otherwise, they just appointed. How many of these people have political positions, occupy political positions? Never saw anything from the people because they're scared. It's not easy. Go and run for office and see.
Yeah.
So this is really what the point is. So you have a lot of people, I don't know, what do I call them? Self-publicists and that sort of thing. They think that they're important, self-importance and the like. So, and it's easy to just co-opt the press. We are just so easy with us. We are just so easy.
Yeah.
We're giving all these people publicity. They really,
platform,
they don't deserve. That's really what
So
it's
Gambian secular migrants in Spain ought to honor contracts amid absconding concerns. Do you think they will come back? Do you think they will honor that agreement? Someone who was looking for a way to use the illegal way, and I got a flight that took me to Spain. Now you think I'll come back? Have they done? Is it that they didn't do their homework properly?
Who didn't do the homework?
The authorities down here.
What kind of homework could they have done to know that these people were going to abscond?
Abscond.
What kind of homework would have taken you there?
That is the problem. That is the problem.
However,
yes,
the method of selection, how do we select them? We've heard so many stories about selling positions on people bringing in their families and that sort of thing. We all know the way we are like. So there's a way that you can minimize the opportunities for people to abscond. You can minimize depending on how thorough,
but
you know, how well structured your selection system.
It was.
Most of us are not surprised at all about
every
this.
set you see,
Nobody.
there are good people and bad people.
That's it.
Yeah.
People with different intention. There are people that return. We have, I mean, a quite number that return. I think it's 4 of them.
About 90% didn't. That's the sad
And
thing.
even those people, according to what I heard, they are being bullied now by the society.
Why are you here?
I mean, you don't want anything good for yourself. I mean, why
that is
are you
why
back?
you return.
Yeah. So,
but then for me, when they get there, Spain, it depends on the kind of job they were asked to do.
They were farming.
You see?
Yes.
So if you get someone who was born here, has never been to even the garden, talk less of the farm, to farm, and then you took that person there to farm, that person will definitely abscond. Because farming is not something that he's used to.
No, but the type of farming they are doing, I think it's a very easy one. It's just plucking apples. I mean,
even if it is just weeding, it's still farming.
Insurance, everything is mechanized. I mean, I don't think that's
But that point is very interesting.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's why we go back to the way we select, the method of selection, what criteria do we have in place, and all the rest of it. So with this, 35 also absconding, do you think people are surprised? No. Nobody's surprised. People were talking about it for a long time now.
Absolutely. In fact, when they left, many people said, I mean, most of these people would come back, you know. And the surprising thing is, the people there, I've listened to one of their radio interviews. I mean, they were also like, okay, there are arguments that the Gambia government didn't do, so why should we come back? I mean, I don't think it's a matter of agreement on not having a concrete agreement with the government of the Gambia. So I just think they want to remain there, and they want to create a tension, you know. So now the government is talking about the opportunities that we are going to lose, I mean, in the future.
Yeah, deterring some people to also have the same opportunity.
Yeah.
You know, these migration agreements. Now you have many of them coming up, be it with Saudi or Qatar or whoever. So it's quite sort of in vogue these days. So, but then it will spoil many opportunities in the future. They'll say Gambia is a no-go area.
Yeah.
You know.
We can even be blacklisted, sir.
We'll be blacklisted. So this is it. This is our reality, Mr. Balde.
Yeah. So let's still move on. Gets relief as NRA repairs. Okay, NRA is repairing some of the roads. I mean, some of the bad road. I mean, so that we have the conditions. One of them is the Churchillstown. Churchillstown is known to be a very bad, center when it comes to people commuting, especially when it rains. It's difficult for you to fly. I can remember there was a time. In fact, I didn't come on this program because of the delay on that route. I couldn't get here on time. So now they are trying to fix certain things. But let's talk about the quality of roads that we have. You cannot construct a road for less than a year or two and you start seeing potholes. Then the quality is bad. Halimatu, what do you think?
Yes, the temporary solutions that they have, they should just do away with that, because I applied the Costa route. It's terrible. It's terrible. Today I have to tell the driver, okay, I'm going to Banjul so that I can get here. When I get to Westfield, I just pay the Banjul fare and then ride from the car. Because the Costa road is very bad.
No, Costa road is a problem. Normally, I don't use Costa road with my vehicle because anytime you use Costa road, you will need to maintenance. It will your bull joints and all those things is a problem. So I think they need to work on that. They need to
find a permanent solution. Temporary solution wouldn't work.
I think there's a new, I can't remember his name now. There's a new acting chief of National Road Authority.
Okay.
He was interviewed the other day saying that actually you have some of these roads, there's no maintenance culture. And they should have been changed a long time ago. Something had expired the time it was given. So he was itemizing all the problems that they are facing. So hopefully now, going forward, they will change it. But my suspicion is this. Here we have the National Roads Authority. One would have thought that with highways, yes, they should be responsible for the maintenance of highways.
Yeah.
Otherwise, all the side roads and all the rest of it, they tend to go to councils. They will know within each ward which routes are the worst ones so they can fix it. It's easier to fix. Now it seems we rely on NRA for all the repairs. It is never going to happen.
The workload
every
is too
year.
much.
That's a good. Don't worry about it. I live in Bruceby. You have some areas you can't go. Anywhere. People will tell you, just talk about Churchillstown. There are dozens and dozens of roads here that are exactly like that. Every rainy season we suffer. So the mechanism we have in place of dealing with it cannot deal with it. It's a joke.
And Foroya is saying here, road construction should go with road maintenance.
Obviously. This is what we're talking about. We don't do maintenance. And the construction, cheap quality.
Of course.
And we don't do maintenance.
And, I've also seen something recently. There are people that cut our roads. Probably they want to, connect water pipes. So they do it by themselves, and they cut our roads. They use pickers and all those kind of equipment to cut our roads so that they can get pipe waters into their compounds. And, I think it's very unprofessional.
And they are not awake?
And they are not awake. It's residents. We have them all over my area, on the main highway, whereby they will just cut the road and they put their thing. Then later they put cement and concrete that path. So we are having attitudinal problems here too as a people. When you talk about the anti-littering system, the anti-littering laws of the Gambia, you can see how people are very irresponsible, discriminately sending or throwing things anywhere.
Littering everywhere, yes.
Yeah, so
yes. Even today when I was coming, I saw someone in a vehicle and the person was littering the highway, and I was like, just look at this. But I think the attitudinal change is because our laws are not being implemented. The anti-littering law was here, but the NEA were not implementing it, because these are the same people who will go out of the country and then they will behave. They will go to other countries, they will behave, they will follow the rules. But when they are in the Gambia, they have a problem of following the rules here. So I think we need to focus on implementing laws. We cannot just say that laws are here and they are lying down there, we're not doing anything about it. We need to implement laws. Even look at the public smoking. The other day I was coming from Koina, and then the driver was just smoking. he said he has to stay awake. It was at night because he's just smoking. When I get home, I suffered.
I have my own driver here. He keeps smoking and polluting me all over the office. I mean, he's not even far. My driver is sitting in the studios. Last week we had a tussle on smoking. Mr. Mboy, yange fatale ko waxtan mo am ak suma driver bi nonu.
Do not yam me fatale ko me son. I can't remember anything.
So, you know, people have to we just need to implement laws. We just need to implement laws. If people are stubborn, the authorities also need to be stubborn in implementing laws, so that we can just maintain law and order in this country.
But you see, this is really the trick. The authorities, they are from us. They are us.
Yes, yes, that's
so
true.
it is not going to happen. This is just a very curious thing. And when you said your example about, you know, when people go out to Europe, America, wherever, we behave ourselves.
Yeah.
It's amazing. You don't even need to go there. Just over here, being a waitress or waiter, I live in the tourism development area for a very long time, Kololi, and I noticed something. When you take Gambians working for other Gambians, oh my God, they give awful service. But then let them move, go and work for another restaurant, but this one is owned by a European or perhaps a Lebanese or somebody else. Then the attitude changes. It's an extraordinary thing. I do not know how to explain it.
I think
it's easier for us to work and do well when it's a European or somebody else.
Yeah.
Amongst ourselves, we don't.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I was just
I
completely confused by it. I don't know.
Yeah. I think we still have those things in us.
It's a colonial thing. There's
we
something
think they are
psychologically.
more superior
Yeah.
than, you know,
that we have to impress them. Their opinion matters.
You don't need to impress anybody.
Yeah.
Just be you. You don't need any validation from anybody. Just be you, man.
I think that phrase, we're sort of decolonizing the mind, that is really the starting point. That's why things are not working.
Yeah.
You still have that psychology, that mindset that makes you undermine, as it were, your own interest. It's an extraordinary situation. And when you go work for somebody else, oh, you're perfect.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow. So we are in for a long ride.
All right, Halimatu, thank you very much. We've come to the end of this segment, and it was really interesting. I mean, doing this with you, and I hope we are going to do this another time again. Very interesting, and thank you very much for reviewing the papers with us. And you know, quite a very interesting.
Yeah, this was fun.
It's fun and it's
very
interesting
insights.
Yes,
I like that.
It's an honor to be here, to be in your midst as well. I also do watch this morning, and you're doing a great job. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So, viewers, at this point, we'll take a short break. After the break, the program continues. We'll be back.
Q-Money e Orange Money Johnny weɓini nuldugol mbuuɗi mi yetoma joni hiɗa wawi nuldude mbuuɗi iwra ko Gambia ɗo yaha Sénégal e Q-Money wallet ma on eyyi ko honno wonɗa e fadde mi yetoma udduto Q-Money account ma on joni fuɗɗoɗa nuldude mbuuɗi e teriɓe ma rewa ɗon ka Orange Money nder Sénégal fi heɓugol hen ko laaɓi hiɗa wawi noddude Q-Money customer care e 133 Q-Money suñu kalpe ɗum no yaadi e sartaji.
Opticalia, Gambia's leader in optical care with 5 locations offering the best in visual health. With cutting-edge European technology, Opticalia delivers single vision lenses in just 20 minutes. At Opticalia, we care about our future. Eye exams are free for individuals under 18, ensuring everyone has access to quality eye care. But it's not just about vision. Opticalia also provides advanced audiology services to ensure your hearing health is in the best hands. Our audiology services offer European standard hearing aids and diagnostics, ensuring everyone can hear clearly. Whether it's testing or treatment, you can trust Opticalia for your auditory care. Opticalia offers European standard products, fair prices, and exceptional value all under one roof. Visit Opticalia at the Tropic Shopping Center near Senegambia or call us on 7767-121 or at any of our regional branches. Banjul 7767-126, Brikama 7767-123, Farafenni 7767-124, Basse 7767-125. Opticalia. Love what you see and hear.
We are back. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Balde, and thanks for joining us. And to our viewers in the United States of America, Ibrahim Jawara, how are you doing? Not forgetting our brother Banki in Madrid. We are saying hello to you. How are you doing too? Now, let's move on to advancing the rights of persons with disabilities in the Gambia. We have Aji Fatou Gay, Senior Legal Officer, National Human Rights Commission. Aji Fatou, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I am fine.
It's good to have you here. I mean, to discuss this topic.
Okay, thanks for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Yes. So let's talk about persons with disability in the Gambia. You know, we've seen a lot of people standing and talking about this, and this is a thing that we should be including in our day-to-day conversation all the time. So, I mean, let's talk about this. What is your stand?
When we talk about persons with disabilities in the Gambia, we have a specific legislation that governs the rights of persons with disabilities, which was enacted in 2021, the Persons with Disabilities Act 2021. And then also a National Advisory Council has been established to oversee the implementation of the Persons with Disabilities Act 2021. So the history behind the ratification and the domestication of the Persons with Disabilities Act came as a result of the ratification of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. Yes, and also in 2024 we ratified the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which is sometimes referred to as African Disability Rights Protocol. So all in all, we have a specific legislation that governs the rights of persons with disabilities in the Gambia, and it's a plus for the Gambia and to also establish a National Advisory Council. But then from another perspective also, even the act itself, it does not have a commencement date. So in law, it is not even effective. So 2 weeks ago, the National Human Rights Commission organized a forum on disability rights, and then the minister made a statement that the commencement order has been gazetted. So we await the feedback from the Ministry of Gender. So the Ministry of Gender is the parent ministry that is responsible to oversee the implementation of the act through the Director of Social Welfare.
All right. So before we delve into those, I mean, let's talk about the challenges that persons with disabilities faced in the Gambia.
The challenges are very numerous. We talk about when it comes to accessibility. Accessibility, for example, in terms of infrastructure and assistive devices. For example, if I were to come with somebody who is physically challenged to do the TV show with me.
Please don't talk about our building. Please don't talk about
the building. The QTV building itself is not disability friendly.
No, but our new building, you see the smart building there, is now friendly.
It has ramps and everything.
No, we fixed that. I mean,
you have ramps and everything.
Everything is there. It's a smart building.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
we talk about assistive devices and access to infrastructure for persons with disabilities. For example, you realize that even the environment itself is not convenient for persons with disabilities. You realize, for example, let me take a number one example. The Ministry of Gender itself, that is responsible for protecting the rights of persons with disabilities, they have moved to a new office in Aboko, but even the office itself is not accessible for persons with disabilities. So, and then also you realize that when it comes to transportation as well, we have the Ministry of Transport and we have the GTSC that are responsible for transportation, but still persons with disabilities still encounter numerous challenges in terms of transportation. For example, when we had the dialogue, some persons who are physically challenged, like wheelchair users, they complain that even when they have to board commercial vehicles, they have to pay for their wheelchair as well. And these are people that are also vulnerable, and when it comes to social inequality, these are people that are highly affected. So you talk about access to information as well, which is also another challenge for persons with disabilities. And we talk about right to education for persons with disabilities, especially children. We have 3 special schools in the urban areas, like for example, we have Govi for the visually impaired, and we have Methodist Special School for those with autism, and then we have the St. John's School for the deaf. And these are concentrated in the urban areas, not even in the rural areas. So children with disabilities in the rural areas are not even covered. And these 3 schools are not even public schools. They are private schools owned by these institutions. So in terms of right to education for children with disabilities, really the Gambia is not doing well in that aspect. And we talk about sign language interpretation. You realize that even we don't have our own sign language interpretation. There's a need for us to develop our own sign language interpretation. And then you realize that even the TV stations, for example, like the national TV broadcast, they don't even provide sign language interpretation when it comes to news and issues of national interest. So which means that they are still left behind. And we are talking about Agenda 2030, leaving no one behind. So we talk about right to health for persons with disabilities as well. So the health sector is also another problem. For example, sometimes you see that somebody who is hard of hearing could visit the hospital. But if there is no one who knows sign language to help this person who is sick, then it means that that person will be asked to go home. So he will not be treated on that day because there is nobody who has sign language interpretation skills to interpret what exactly this person is talking about or what his problem is.
So what programs is the Human Rights Commission doing? I mean, to introduce so that these things can be available. These are things that are supposed to be done. Okay.
The Human Rights Commission has that broad mandate to promote and protect human rights in the Gambia. And our main mandate is to promote this through awareness-raising programs and education, which we are doing. But then the primary obligation is on the state as the primary duty bearer to ensure that these rights are fulfilled so that they enjoy everything. They enjoy every right on an equal basis with others. But the primary duty bearer is the state. They should ensure that they implement the Persons with Disabilities Act to ensure that they fulfill, they enjoy their rights on an equal basis with all of us.
That's it. So much is going wrong.
Yes.
I wonder, where are we getting it right? Any positives in this landscape of sort of
we talk about?
I think we have few positives. Number one, we have established the National Advisory Council, and then they have been given a secretariat. I think last week I was informed that they have been given a secretariat in Banjul at the School of Nursing to have their own office, their secretariat, and then also they have a national disability strategy. So the issue now is implementation of the Persons with Disabilities Act. And that's where the problem lies.
And in saying that, you've said it all. The process-based aspects, you know, legislation, advisory council, strategy, we tend to score high with stuff like that. It is in the implementation that we rarely score high. But what is it that the National Human Rights Council can do? Is it advocacy? What else? What is it you can do to sort of try to move the discussion?
Yeah, the National Human Rights Commission, through its promotion mandate, what the National Human Rights Commission can come up with is to advise the state, provide advisory opinion to the state that, you know what, we have enacted the Persons with Disabilities Act, but where are we? And then we had this dialogue in 2023. It was the first dialogue to talk about disability rights and the progress made. And then we had this one again 2 weeks ago after 2 years, and it's still the same story. So we are saying that what's the next step? So we are thinking of maybe having a multi-stakeholder committee to follow up with the implementation of the Persons with Disabilities Act to ensure that the Gambia fulfill its obligation.
That's it. And perhaps the other aspect is that here we're talking about rights, but we tend to be so paternalistic about people with disability, or be it with children. I think we're even having that difficulty with children's rights as well because of the nature of our society. So, yes, it is the state that should provide it, yet the state also reflects these norms we have towards, so perhaps you may not have that drive, you know, seeing it, because just as you said, year after year after year, we're just talking about the same things, going round circles, as if there's really no commitment. Do you sense that? There's really no commitment from the state and the society's attitudes towards these people. That's the hardest hurdle, isn't it?
Yeah, I think when it comes to the state, they still need to redouble their efforts in ensuring that these rights are fulfilled. Because, for example, like the #1 problem is the act itself does not even have a commencement date, which means that the act itself is not effective. And they have already established a National Advisory Council as part of the mandate of the overseeing of the implementation of the act, which serves as an independent monitoring mechanism. So when it comes to societal norms and values and attitudes, it's a big problem. It's a big problem, and that is the most difficult part, because to change people's mindset and attitudes towards the treatment of persons with disabilities, it will not just happen overnight.
So sometimes I wonder, okay, let's talk about employment and economic challenges of PWDs. Sometimes I go to institutions and I look at people with disability. I mean, you can only find few of them. Some of them are not even employed. Are these things also included in some of the things that we are doing to make sure they also get their rights in that area?
Yes, for example, if you look at the 2023 Labour Act, Chapter 10 provides for the right to employment for persons with disabilities. And then that's for the private sector. But you look at both the public and the private sector, how many persons with disabilities are being employed? For example, QTV here, do you even have somebody who is a person with disability? I'm not sure. So it's a private sector though, but it is still required that they have persons with disabilities. And then you look at the public sector as well, how many persons, compare the number of persons with disabilities out there and the percentage that are in the public sector, it's very, very, very small. So there is the need for economic empowerment of persons with disabilities to be employed in both public and private sectors.
We used to have one. I mean, I think he retired. Is it Mansour? We used to. So awareness and discrimination, stigma. So what are we doing, I mean, to make sure there is awareness? I mean, let the society understand, okay, these are people that are part of us. We should inject them in the system.
Yeah, and that's also a role of the National Human Rights Commission, to educate people on the awareness and to be aware of the rights of persons with disabilities in the Gambia, to know that these people are also part of us. And even the Constitution, if you look at Section 31, it protects the rights of the disabled. So these are people that are part of us. Having a disability does not mean that you are unable to take part in societal or in national development. We just need to empower them more and make sure that the structures and mechanisms are in place so that they will also enjoy their rights on an equal footing with others.
So, Mr. Mboy, do you think that will happen soon? I mean, do you think there will be a free and fair leveling playing field? Situations of this country, not only the country, but Africa, the way things are transpiring, do you think we will soon have a very equal level playing field?
Well, let's put it this way. When it comes to social norms, it's a generational issue that will take time. But there's a way in which governments can really push this. When they really committed, you know, assign, give money, allocate a budget where you should. We know that we don't have that much money, but legislation regarding accessibility. You're doing this building to serve the public, you must have this, you must have that. So there's a way in which government can help in the way by enforcing certain rules. But we don't. That is really where the problem is.
Yes. I think I totally agree with you. The government should come up with strategies and policies. Like for example, the Ministry of Infrastructure can come up with policies to say that, you know what, when you are constructing a building, make sure that you have this place in these structures in place so that it will be disability friendly, despite whether it's a public or a private building, and then to ensure that they enforce these mechanisms. Because I had the previous speaker who said that our problem is enforcement, which is very true. We are good in drafting laws and policies, but we don't implement. We just have the niceties and then we place them aside. So it is important that these ministries, they also come up with policies and strategies that ensures that these mechanisms are in place so that persons with disabilities, they enjoy the rights that others enjoy as well.
Absolutely. And even, you know, in the National Assembly, our president can appoint, 5 members?
Exactly.
See?
Exactly.
It is in these areas. You could have
it's a very
included the person of
when it comes to participation of persons with disabilities in public and political life, it's very, very, very minimal. For example, the previous cohort, we used to have a lady who was visually impaired, and she was really quite well for persons with disabilities. But as of now, we don't have any member of the National Assembly who is a person with disability, which is very sad. We have the local councils as well. We have the political parties amongst their executives, how many are persons with disabilities. So we need to empower them as well. We don't only need to say, no, let's just wait for the government.
You see, sometimes society, we've gone to an extent where we tend to forget about these people. I mean, we forget their existence. I mean, that's why we build our buildings and not even considering these people, they might come here. You understand?
Invisible.
So, yeah, I think this narrative should change. But the only way it's going to change if we all have the will to make sure this thing change. You know, the government alone cannot do it, but the way society is seeing these people too, I think the society needs to come up. I mean, there was a time I was discussing with a guy. He lives in Senegal, but he do visit me time to time. He comes to my house and he spend weeks. I mean, I asked him, why you not married? He said, you know, it's difficult for people like me to get married. I mean, because I cannot see, you know. So, I mean, that I still think about that when, you know, it still reflects, and I think it's sad, and I think we should change the way we think.
Absolutely. When you said the government cannot do it alone, we know that, but it must take the lead. It necessarily must, because the legislation, to say the least, comes from there. And then you enforce. You know, there are certain strategic measures that you can enforce. Exactly, and then you lead the way. But so far, we have to say that we haven't seen any commitment. There's a lot of talk, the rhetoric is unbelievable, it's all over the place, but the action very thin, hardly anything going on. That is the issue.
Absolutely. So any other thing you want to say before we close this segment?
I think that it is time we all try to advocate for the rights of persons with disabilities because as I said earlier, their own slogan is nothing about us without us. They need to be consulted. They need to be included in every aspect of society. So they will also have a feel of society being said, oh, you know what, we are part of this, we are part of this. But if we just decide to isolate them and then have these attitudes towards them, it will hinder the realization of their rights. So I think we just need to, the government as a primary duty bearer has the obligation, and it must ensure that, for example, this National Advisory Council that has been established is fully equipped, make sure that it has the machinery to do its work properly. And then the Act also provides for a disability fund, and the Ministry of Gender should also work with Finance and the National Parliament to ensure that this fund is created to ensure that rights of persons with disabilities are protected and promoted in the Gambia.
All right, thank you very much, Ajifatu Gay, for coming on the program. Thank you
very much.
Let's keep pushing. I mean, it needs a collective effort for us to realize, I mean, this dream. Yeah, so thank you, and we hope to engage you again.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much.
So,
and
Mr.
thanks for having me once again.
This is all we have for today.
Really?
Yes. So let's go take our coffee.
We're just beginning to have fun.
Let's go coffee it, man. Yes. So viewers, we'll be back here tomorrow again. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.